So, who are you with come November 5th? With the election just weeks away, it doesn't look like we'll get to see a second formal debate between Kamala and Trump. So we called both candidates on our own, and they agreed to debate here tonight. Ooh. Please welcome former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris. So, Vice President Harris, I go to you first. You've been doing a media blitz this week. Do you think it's helped you with voters?
Look, Greg, I'm going to be clear. All right? I want to be clear. I grew up in a middle-class family. All right? You know, and our lawn, it was so green. And I know that, you know, that's what the Americans really resonate with. Now, look at the week that I had. Right? You know, hurricanes come and go, but call her daddy? Howard Stern? You know, he let me sit on a speaker. So, you know, when you think about the modalities of that and what the American people, what the American voter really wants to listen to, you know, I think we hit the nail on the head.
Mr. Trump, would you like to respond to that?
Sorry, Ron DeSantis is calling. He calls me back so quick. Ron, we'll call you back. But she rhymes. She does a nursery rhyme. Nobody knows what she says. One fish, two fish, red fish, dumb fish. We know she's a dumb fish, but she couldn't answer one question about what she would do differently than Biden. She could have said, I won't fall off a bike. I won't fall up the stairs. She could have said, I won't die as president. What a layup. I won't die. He could be the first president to be assassinated by time. She'll be the first president to be assassinated by stupidity. Think of that.
All right. Next question to you, Mr. Trump. What's something you would do on day one if elected again?
So I would not have men in women's sports. Could you believe we're even talking about it? The only balls on the court should be for dribbling, right? For dribbling. And I will end the racist, think of it, Greg, the racist DEI, right? The DEI, because think of it, she was the first DEI hire, the first autistic hyena in the Oval Office, and we're going to put an end to it. We're going to put an end to it.
Vice President Harris, do you want to respond to that?
Let me tell you something, and I want to be clear, in case I haven't been clear in the past, all right? On day one, my administration is going to ensure free food for everyone. On day one, clean drinking water. On day one, free housing for up to 5 years. Ladies and gentlemen, on day one, everything that you can possibly imagine and you need goes to all illegal migrants. Now, as for the American citizens, well, they get abortion as promised.
All right. We'll go back to you, Vice President Harris. You flip-flopped on a lot of issues. How can voters be sure you won't keep doing that if you're elected?
Look, again, I come from a middle-class family, right? My values have never changed on that, right? I've talked about my grass being green for quite some time now. All right? And as a former, you know, prosecutor and former state attorney general and, you know, Willie Brown's ex, you know, shout out to my brothers and sisters, right? So, you know, as a former prosecutor, I got to tell you, you have to look at both sides of a situation. Any good lawyer will tell you that. Trump, if you can hear me, you know, get a better lawyer.
Trump, you want to respond?
I can hear. I know I can hear because my ears are bleeding, frankly. But no, think of it. She changes more than Joe Biden's diaper, right? But it's sad. It's sad.
All right, one last question, Mr. Trump. Your opponents claim you're a threat to democracy. Care to explain how they have that all wrong?
Well, I would be a threat because if I'm president again, she will be in jail. We call that a callback from my first debate. But I'll threaten you with a good time. I'll threaten you with a good time. Low gas prices, low inflation, and nobody will be eating the cats and dogs except maybe Chris Christie. Think of that.
All right. Vice President Harris, your response.
That man is a threat to the Capitol. He's a threat to our Constitution. And he's a threat to Melania. He's holding that woman hostage. You cannot change my mind. All right? And we need to save her. We need to save her for the American people. Now, he is dangerous. And if you guys want, you know, these things that he speaks of versus free food, free health care, free everything, on the taxpayer dime, and you know who to vote for. I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
And she's drunk, Greg. She's drunk.
All right. Well, that was very informative. Thank you both, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, everyone. Up next, it's Pajamas on Trial in the case of comfort versus style.